welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. And I can't believe January went by so quickly. It felt really long while I was in the month, but it flew by the time I realized it was February. So it is time for another repurchase review. And this is what I like to do at the end of every month to kind of go over my favorites. But what I do is I go over everything that I featured on my channel that month and whether or not I would repurchase it again. And then I also add in any current favorites or anything like that that might not have been included. So let's get started. I am working backwards through the month, and first up we have the new Suku palette in 06 Fuku Kanade. And this is what it looks like. It's neutral, it's gorgeous, it's lovely. These are soft colors. And when you think of Japanese makeup, you typically think of, very soft washes of color, which is what you get from this. However, with this new formula, it's incredibly buildable. So if you want to layer that color on, you can get the deeper, more pigmented shades that here in America, we seem to gravitate towards more. So this is a winner. The new formula is a winner. I have all of the palettes now. They just haven't all arrived yet, but I will definitely have swatches of all of the palettes coming up, and I will be doing reviews on each of them. That's just gonna take a little bit longer. So overall, the 06 palette is a definite repurchase for me. I really love this, and of course I love the formula enough that I ended up picking up all of the palettes. I also picked up the 4 limited edition liquid lipsticks. So we've got 2 in the Fog formula, which is number 104, which is more of this like terracotta shade, and 105, which is more of a reddish rose shade. And these are going to be more of that creamy matte formula. And then there are also 2 glow formulas. So we have 102, which is this kind of orangey shade. That's the majority of my lip color here, but I also have a little 105 mixed in. And then 103, which is actually more of a brighter pink. It looks softer here, but when I put it on my lips, it's definitely a little bit brighter. I love all 4 of these. If I had to pick a favorite shade, it would be the 103. I'm really loving that one, and it's hard for me not to use that one every day, but I really want to try out all of them. So really enjoying these. Just a note, I also picked up the Suku limited edition blushes. I have been playing with those. They will be up soon. I have really been enjoying them. I have the peachy shade on right now. It's really more of a mango shade in my opinion. And it's number 125. So I think they're a great formula, but I will definitely have something up on those very soon. And I also picked up 2 of the new Sisley blushes. And actually before I put up my review for that, I had already ordered 2 additional blushes and a few other things from Sisley. So I really, really love these. I think they are fantastic. I love the formula. And I do have the new shades yet. I was trying to get through the Suku ones first. So I will be having those up very soon as well. These 2 shades, this is shade number 1, Pink Peony, and number 2, Rosy Fuchsia. These are both more of a matte blush, but when you put them on the skin, they're not a flat matte. They really give you this kind of luminous quality to your skin without any shimmer. And the texture on these is very creamy, so they almost have the appearance of a cream blush when you blend them in. And I think they are really, really nice. And yeah, I'm very excited to try the other 2 shades I picked up. So far, everything has been a repurchase for me this month. Next up, we have the new Guerlain foundation. This is the L'Essentiel High Perfection Foundation. And again, as another repurchase, I really have been enjoying this one a lot. It is similar in finish to the Clé de Peau, which I also like, but I don't know. I think right now, with the condition my skin is in here during the winter, I have been preferring this over the Clé de Peau a little bit. So, my skin's a little bit drier, and I've been putting on heavier moisturizers and things like that. And I don't know, this one just seems to look a little bit better on my skin right now. It's also a better price. So if you don't have the Clé de Peau, I'd pick this over that. if you already have the Clé de Peau, you know, you don't need to rush out and get this, but I do think it's a very, very nice foundation. I'm very happy to have it, and I have been enjoying that one a lot. I also have a couple of Lunar New Year brushes, and I keep checking Beautylish in case of a restock. Lunar New Year is coming up, so hopefully they will restock. This is the one that was released first from Chikuhodo, and this is exclusive to the Beautylish website. It's an angled brush. It's soft. It has a lot of flex and give to it. It applies product beautifully. If you are able to get your hands on this, I highly recommend it. Really, really love this brush. And yeah, definite repurchase. You know, I couldn't have gone wrong if I had picked up 2 of these because it's that good of a brush. Another one, this is also a repurchase for me. This would be the Lunar New Year Beautylish brush. And these were typically always in collaboration. I don't know, always is a long term, but they didn't have that many. So they were previously in collaboration with Chikuhodo for these. And they did not disclose who the manufacturer of these brushes were for this year's Lunar New Year collection. However, you know, it's probably a Chikuhodo. So anyway, I think it's a gorgeous design. I really like it. The shape is slightly different from last year's, which, you know, kind of helps, helps it stand out a little bit in my collection. And I really like it. I actually prefer using this for like soft washes of blush. So I've got plenty of other like bigger powder brushes and everything. So that's been my preference recently, but it's great for face powder and things like that as well. So overall, they're both repurchases. This is more of a traditional shape, something that I feel is a little bit more common. So if you had to pick between the one, I'd go with the Akabeko brush, which is this one from Chikuhodo. Next, we have the 2 Tom Ford quads. And this is number 29, Desert Fox. And I have to say, I enjoy this quad a lot more than I expected to. I kind of repurchased these just to kind of give this formula another shot because I really didn't like the quads that came out last winter. And I have to say that these 2 quads they work much better than what the other quads are performing at for me right now. Now, again, those former quads like the Mink Mirage and Noir Fume, they performed just fine at the beginning, and it was later on that I noticed that they were going on more patchy and so forth. I did recently try them again to, just kind of compare these formulas. And I have to say, these are definitely smoother. This one in particular, Desert Fox, I really love how, well, I wouldn't say creamy. They're not a creamy formula, but they're super smooth when they go on. They're very pigmented. And this metallic shade is actually a little bit on the creamier side for something that's a firm product. And I think they all just blend beautifully. So I would repurchase this, even though it's not my typical color story. I really enjoy having something a little different once in a while. So this is a repurchase. Next up, we have number 30, Insolent Rose. And I think this is a gorgeous color story. This palette in particular is more sheer. It's going to give you more of that sheer, light, springtime look. It's very, very pretty, but I don't find the formulas to be quite as nice as those in the Desert Fox. This pressed glitter shade is only okay. I get a lot of fallout from it. I would prefer this color story to be in the wet dry formula or the same formula as the Desert Fox. This doesn't feel quite the same. And I like it. Most likely I would repurchase this again as well because I do really enjoy the color story. But if I had to pick between the 2, I would go with the Desert Fox. This is really more of a maybe. If I was really looking to buy something, it's a good choice, but it's not going to be a favorite, if that makes sense. And I also picked up the Tom Ford Emotion Proof Primer. And I have been enjoying this. I haven't featured this truly on my channel yet, but I definitely will have a eye primer comparison video coming up soon for Makeup Mondays. And I have to say that this is a nice primer, and I would purchase it again because I have tried pairing this with not only the Tom Ford palettes, but also other brands. We'll talk about that later. But with the Tom Ford palettes, this flat pan formula, such as the Insolent Rose and Desert Fox, I really do notice a big difference using this primer. So this is a silicone-based primer. It just allows everything to go on smoothly. You don't have to worry about patchiness that you can sometimes get from a more tacky primer. And it really does seem to help with the longevity, particularly with the Tom Ford palettes. Now, compared to other primers with other products, I don't think that it is like the best primer in the world or anything like that, but it does work very well. So this would be a repurchase for me, and I really like this one paired with the Tom Ford palettes in particular. Next, we have the Victoria Beckham Future Lash Mascara, and this is a tubing mascara. It gives you a very natural look. It's very easy to remove. I really like this mascara. I like the way that it looks on my eyes and how easy it is to remove. I love the skinny wand. This is something I would repurchase. I am not, I don't wear a lot of tubing mascaras, so this still wouldn't be like my #1 mascara pick. But if I were in the market for a tubing mascara, this is the one that I would pick in that category. And I have to say that I really have been enjoying this one a lot. So this is a repurchase. And when I did that video, I also featured a couple of other items from Victoria Beckham that were new to me, but not necessarily new to the brand. And that was it was the blonde cream shadow. I really like that. I would repurchase it again because I'm always a sucker for things like that. However, I don't think it's their best shade. That one didn't perform as well as some of the other ones I have. So if you're looking for something to miss, that one, that could be a miss. Again, for me, I'd pick it up, but that's me. So then I also featured the Pop Lip Duo, which has the Pop lipstick, which is a really beautiful red, and also the red lip pencil. I love both of them. They perform well. They're great shades, very easy to use, easy to wear. I would definitely pick up the Victoria Beckham lip products again. And next up, we have the Guerlain Spring Collection, and there were 2 meteorites there. And over on the community tab, I did post the response I received from Guerlain about these pink pearl meteorites. So they recommend contacting the Bellagio Hotel, the boutique that they have there, to help find those if you are interested in purchasing them. So check the community tab for information on that. There is the phone number and everything there. These I use as a blush, and I really like them. They're nice and pigmented. Then we also have the Pearl Glow, and I use this one more as a finishing powder, or sometimes I will take the loose powder at the bottom of the container and use it as a dedicated highlight. But I love both of these meteorites. I now have 5 containers of meteorites, which, is kind of a lot. So I feel like I'm starting to kind of get to the point where, unless they're super different, it's time for me to kind of resist. But I'm very happy that I picked up these 2. If you're somebody who collects meteorites, I would definitely look at purchasing one or both of these. Also with the Guerlain Spring Collection, these are not the cases from the Spring Collection, but these are the lipsticks, and they are a sheer shine formula, but they're calling them Pearly Glow Sheer Shine. So they are limited edition shades, and they are not the same as the regular sheer shine. You can see that they've got more of this satin lipstick bullet, and you can see this pearly look to them. They're very, very beautiful. And this one here, I mean, look at that. That is so beautiful. I've been wearing this all the time, so I actually had to just go and grab this off my desk. But this is number 76, which I believe is called Pearly Rosewood. I use it all the time. Absolutely love it. And then I also have number 7, which is more of a nude caramel shade. So that's just one swipe there. And you can see, again, this one also has that beautiful pearly look to it. And yeah, I'm very happy with both of these, and I'm so glad I picked these up. I really love them. So those are definite repurchase for me. And it feels like a long time ago, but we actually have the Chanel Spring Collection, and LeBlanc was just released. If you haven't seen my LeBlanc video, check that out. I do have a couple more items that I ordered as well that I have not put up yet. I haven't received them yet. But this is the Chanel Duo Fleur de Printemps for the Spring Collection. And I wasn't sure how much I'd like it, but just like with the holiday collection, this ended up being something super wearable, really, really beautiful. So you've got a blush and a highlight. And the blush is kind of a coral shade, and the highlight you can see is kind of more of a deeper peach highlight. I prefer to use these mostly mixed together, but I think they are gorgeous, and the coral can go on very light or you can build it up. And I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful shade that can suit many different skin tones. So definitely very happy with that. Also with the spring collection, I picked up another mascara. This is the Chanel Le Volume de Chanel. This is shade 120, which is Metal Terracotta. And it is the traditional Le Volume formula, same brush, but you can see this shade here it's more of a light brown with a hint of bronze to it. And I really like it. I love brown mascaras. This is a lighter brown than a typical brown mascara. So it's got a little bit of something extra. When I put it on my upper lashes, I don't really notice too much of that special color to it. But when I put on my lower lashes, I feel like it's very noticeable. And I think it's just a really nice change of pace. So this is something I would repurchase. And then also from the Chanel Spring Collection, more lip products, we have the Chanel Lock in Dark Blossom. And look at this. I mean, that is, here, let's share it out too. It's just this beautiful shade. It is now my favorite Chanel Lock shade. I mean, it's so gorgeous. It's limited edition. So if you're interested in it, you know, I would definitely get it at some point before it goes out of stock. And then they also had 2 Velvet Extreme lipsticks that I picked up. And this one here is number 134, Eclosion. And I think it's a really pretty shade. But, you know, after doing some swatch comparisons, I really like this one. I do have some fairly similar colors in my collection. So this is one that I could have skipped. I mean, I technically could have skipped any of these. I've got plenty of lip products. And then we also have number 136 P-FO Noir. And again, I have plenty of red mattes. I didn't have a red Velvet Extreme matte though. So, you know, that's why I picked this up. But from photos, it looks similar to Ideal to me, which I don't have, but was on my wish list. So I'm very happy with all 3 of them. I personally would repurchase all 3 of them again because I'm obsessed with lipsticks. But if I had to skip one, Eclosion is just one that I have similar shades to. Well, actually, I guess I have similar shades to both of those. But the most unique out of the 3 would be the Rouge Allure Lock in Dark Blossom. So sorry about the noise. But next up, we have the Byredo Siren palette. And this is another item that I would pick up again. However, if you already have a collection with a lot of bright neutrals or bright colors, you know, it's not something that you have to have. But I do have the other 2 Byredo eyeshadow palettes. And I think that the formula is really fun to play with. It's really nice. Particular in this one, I really like this shade Victory and this blue shade Odyssey. And this color story, you know, it looks disjointed to me at first, but it really does actually kind of go well together. So I really enjoy playing with this, so I would pick it up again. If you're looking to only get one Byredo palette, my personal preference is the Sciomancer because I feel like those have the best formulas. This and Corporate are pretty tied, and then you just kind of decide whether you want brights or neutrals. So I think it's a great palette, and it's another repurchase. Next, we have the Chikuhodo P-FO brush. This is a silver fox hair brush. It's my most expensive brush that I have ever purchased. And if you watched my video on this, I was a little disappointed because they did make some changes from the original brush. However, I would repurchase it. I do really enjoy the brush, and so I would repurchase this. I really like it. And, you know, after talking with a lot of you who have messaged me about this brush, you know, from when it came out a couple years ago, yes, they made some changes, but sometimes changes are for the better. I don't know since I don't have the other one to compare, but this is still a really great brush. And considering the fact that we do have like declining quality in hairs and things are going to be getting more expensive and everything, I think this was a great value for me to pick up. So I really enjoy it. It is a repurchase for me. So yeah, I mean, you can't look at that. It's so beautiful and it's so soft. It is very dense, just so you know. So yeah, really, really enjoying this. So it's a repurchase. And next we have a few things from Dior. We have the Dior Spring Palette in 849 Pink Sakura. And I have to say that I love this quint. I would definitely pick this up again. This quint probably has to be in my top, I don't know, it's definitely in my top few quints. So once I finish going through the quints that I have, I will do a ranking. I know several of you have asked for that, but this is definitely going to be up there, somewhere in the top 5. So I really, really like this one. It's a definite repurchase. And as a matter of fact, Wild Brown and Blooming Bouquet are also available on the Dior website now, and I did order those, so those will be coming as well. I just realized I skipped something. This is my Guerlain Kiss Kiss Tender Matte Lipstick, and I purchased shade 999, and this is a really nice red velvet formula. I really enjoy it. I would pick up more from this. It looks like most of their line right now are really deep shades, which personally with a velvet formula, that's usually what I gravitate towards, but I would really like to see some lighter shades in there as well. So perhaps I'll pick up one of the lighter shades they have, or maybe when they expand the line and add new shades, I'll pick one up. But I think it's a really nice formula. I love Guerlain lipsticks usually, and this one I think is really nice. So that is 999. Let me just build up the edges there for you. And yeah, I think this is a great formula. So if you're interested in velvet formulas, this is one that I would recommend trying out. And then last on my list, we have the new Dior, Rouge Dior lipsticks. So these are now refillable. These just pop right out. And I picked up one in each of the 4 shades. Let's see here, there we go. You can just pop it out. And it's a click, it clicks in. So it's not magnetic, so you don't have to worry about falling it out. It does click in securely. So this is number 999 from Dior. And this is their velvet. You can see it's going to be a little bit less opaque. And the red is very different from the Guerlain 999. This is another beautiful shade. Very happy I have this. I really like their velvet formula. I consider it a summer velvet. And then we have 219 Rose Montagna, which is a satin shade. And again, I think this is another beautiful color. It's something light, easy to wear, and it's not a heavy satin. Again, these are all fairly lightweight in texture. Then we have 525 Sherry, which is a metallic shade, and that's right here. This one, you know, I don't know, the formula is just fine. I wouldn't pick up this color again. I don't care for this color that much on me, but I think the formula is nice if you're looking for a metallic. And then I also have shade 100 Nude Look, which I really like this. I love the color of this. I think the matte formula is, you know, it's nice for a matte formula. I actually prefer velvets over mattes. I feel like they feel a little bit less dry on my lips. This one does not feel dry. You know, again, it's kind of a lightweight matte. It's comfortable on my lips. No issues with the formula. I just personally would love to have this color in a satin shade. But that's just because I love satins. I think this is just a really great nude. So definitely I would repurchase, shade-wise, I would repurchase the 100 Nude Look, the Rose Montagna, which is 219, and then 999. And formula-wise, when I go to get more, my favorite formulas from these would be the velvets and the satins. So that's pretty much what I would gravitate towards. So overall, I do really like these. I did also pick up the Rouge Dior Lip Balm. I believe I had that in the December month. So that one's also very nice, but just so you know, they do have a lip balm option. It is the same packaging and it's also refillable. So thank you so much for joining me for the repurchase review. Let's go over a few additional favorites. Now I have started Project Pan, and for me, that works a little bit differently than some other people who are doing Project Pans. I'm obviously not going to be using the same products every day. I don't expect a pan like my eyeshadows or blushes because I'm obviously getting new things to test all the time. So for base products this month, I used a lot of the Peau Radiant Cream to Powder Foundation that I am trying to use up. And just to show you how far I have gotten now, I am here. So I did put something in it. I put the back of an eyeshadow brush in there just to see how far it goes down in the pan. I still have plenty. So that little divot there is not totally for me using that much, but I have made a good dent, I think. So I think that's coming along well. And other things for Project Pan, just so you know, I am almost finished with the brow pencil or the brow gel. This is the Guerlain Matte Eyes Brow Framer in the brown shade, and it's starting, I can definitely tell that it's starting to be finished off. So this one I should be finishing up hopefully this month. Now I have used other items from my Project Pan, but there's no real progress that you can see. So we're gonna just skip over that to other things I've been gravitating towards that are not necessarily included in there. One of those are the Chanel Rosy Light Drops. These came out last spring and I have been using these a lot. I've been using them a lot as a base underneath my foundation. And, you know, I also like to mix these in with under eye concealer sometimes. But right now I've been using them a lot as a base on my cheeks underneath foundation. And I've really been loving them a lot. There's something I gravitate towards a lot during the spring and the summer. And happy to say that this year I'm still really enjoying these a lot. Now for eyeshadows, blushes, and lip products, I feel like I have been testing so many items in those categories this month that I didn't really have a lot of time to reach for other things. However, I have really been reaching for a lot of cream products when I'm not using something that I'm testing or something from Project Pan. The blushes I've reached for the most this month would be the Kjaer Weis Cream Blush in Blossoming. I've been using this one quite a bit. I really like this one a lot. It's very natural looking. And also, a little similar, we've got the Peau Cream Blush in shade 4, Perfect Peach. So this is a little bit more neutral, a little bit more nude looking on the cheeks than Blossoming, which you can see is a little bit more pink. The finish is also a little different. So I feel like this one is going to give you a little bit more of a sophisticated look. It looks actually a little bit drier on the cheeks than the Kjaer Weis, which really just gives you this a little bit more of a glowy blush. So I've been reaching for these two a lot. And for highlights, I have been reaching for the Ritual de Fille in Ice Bow quite a bit when I use a cream highlight. Otherwise, Guerlain Meteorites Pearl Dust palette. And back in my favorites again, we have the Burberry Essentials Glow palette. This is the 01 Fair to Light Medium. Still using this a lot. I really like it. You know, I try to keep my makeup really neat so it doesn't necessarily get super dirty. I'm not sure if you can tell how much I've actually used this, but yeah, I really love this one. So definitely a favorite again. For eyeshadows, I've pretty much been testing something all month, but I have been really wanting to wear purples. So the palettes that I have been wanting to play with the most would be the Dior Tutu palette, the Pink Sakura, even though that's pink, the Tom Ford Moonlit Violet, and the Viseart Violette Étendue palette. Those are the ones that I've really been kind of trying to use when I can. Right now, I'm just really having a purple moment. So those are definitely some that I have been loving. For lips, as you can see, I bought a ton of lip products this month. So I've pretty much been wearing all of those. And as always, I still use the Suku Lip Fog in 103, which was from the pre-holiday collection. I don't think you can really get it anymore. That's still a favorite. And the other one that I've really been wearing a ton of is the new Guerlain one that I just mentioned in number 76. I've been wearing this one a lot. So overall though, definitely happy with all the lip products I picked up this month. I've been wearing all of them a lot. that sums up everything for January, and I would love to know what you have been enjoying this month and things that you're looking forward to for February. So please let me know down below in the comments. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I hope to see you very soon. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.